Hey guys, welcome to the studios here at Center Target Firearms and Indoor Range. I'm Brett. This is Bobby. Joe's behind the camera, so we've got Jonathan Byerly. How
Yep.
are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Good, good. And you're new to the property here,
I
and
am.
yeah, so I this is exciting for me because I told you my background's buffet, and
Right.
with everything that you do, and Bobby knows you a little bit better than I do, but Bobby, it's exciting to have a new
Oh man,
aspect of defending yourself.
London martial arts, London martial arts, right here beside Center Target,
Yeah.
between Center Target and Massa. So you got you got kind of food in, you got shooting, you got all this good stuff going on. But yeah, Jonathan, just got set up
Yeah.
about a week or so
It's about
ago,
about a
something
month
like
ago.
that.
Yeah, we're on a
Just
month. Yeah,
okay.
first month.
Uh, Offers boxing, offers jujitsu, offers kickboxing, some MMA stuff, karate. Just tell them what all do you guys have and do you
We
offer?
offer I do a kids karate
Okay,
program.
that's big too. I
It
know I've seen a
is.
lot of
We're
kids over there.
we're getting packed up in there, but
Right.
yeah, we do a kids karate program, and then I have a adult Brazilian jiu jitsu program. Do striking classes.
Hmm.
We open at 4 o'clock, and we're out there by 8:30. So
Well, and I can
Wow.
attest to this guy too
Yeah.
because we've trained together a lot, been in the gym together a lot, and this is one bad dude right
I
here,
don't know
man.
if
I
I go
mean,
that far
he's
with you.
he's a tough guy. But it's well, tell us a little bit about your background too,
Uh,
Jonathan. I know you a lot of MMA, a lot of fights.
Well, I started martial arts when I was 11. I started doing taekwondo, and it was really just to get in shape
Hmm.
thing. It really wasn't, to go anywhere with it. So I started doing taekwondo when I was 11, and then by 14, 13 or 14, I think my black belt in taekwondo.
Right.
And then I actually got all the way up to third dan in taekwondo.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Started doing kickboxing right after that. So I
Mhm.
had in between as a teenager, I had I think five kickboxing
Right.
matches, and then from a teenager, moving into adulthood in my 20s, I started doing jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So I'm a purple belt in Brazilian
Right.
jiu-jitsu. I've had 9 amateur MMA
Hmm.
fights in MMA.
Talking about going pro, we've
Yeah,
been
we
we've
we
been
talked about it a
discussing
little bit.
that.
So
So,
yeah, that could
Brett,
be.
he and I've rolled several times, and he's twisted me up like a pretzel and makes me tap and all that. So my background's in kickboxing and Krav and other things along those lines. But one of the things we wanted to talk about today is you know when you start talking about self defense,
Yes.
you have a lot of people that say, well, I've got a gun, I've got my concealed carry permit. So I've even had them do this, pat here on their hip and say, I don't need to know
Yeah.
how to fight. I got this. Well, there's a line there in there. I mean,
There's a big
you
line
still got
there.
to
Yep.
be able to, if I just somebody wants to fight and or if I threaten to fight you or want to fight you or whatever the case may be, you can't just pull out the gun and shoot the person.
No, 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 no.
So obviously, if you got a chance to get away, we always recommend getting away from that. But let's say you can't. You may have to. You probably are going to have to use some self defense techniques to be able to justify getting to that Now, we're not
Sure.
going to get into all that. We're going to actually put together, Jonathan and I are going to put together a class on use of force as far as the legal aspects, physical versus deadly force and all those different things. But what people don't realize is that sometimes, I've had ladies say, well, I carry a gun in my purse. Well, if we, any one of the three of us, grab her, the lady, and she can't get to her purse, what she's going to learn those techniques to where she can defend herself. And I know that's one of the things that you guys are big on over here at
Mhm.
London Martial Arts is that kind of thing. Not necessarily. A lot of times I know people come in and they think, well, we're just going to go in here and we're going to box, we're going to spar, we're going to get beat up, and all those different things. That's not the case.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
you've got classes
Yep.
where yes, sparring and
Mhm.
you know all that stuff take place, but you've also got classes where there's discussion about what to do and
Mhm.
techniques and those type things, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And with my age, I'm 54, and I know what you're thinking, Brett. No way you're 54. But yeah, so I'm not as agile as I used to be.
Uh-huh.
I'm not as fast. My best defense is running, and
Mhm.
I can't even do that anymore. So you guys, I'm sure, have special things you can work with
Oh yeah,
people, the older
I
crowd, like
do.
I'm in now.
I've actually got a guy that's actually just come in, and he's got a prosthetic leg. So I'm having to. I'm teaching, uh, I'm breaking up stuff, and I've had to kind of adapt to him
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
he's missing a leg. So it's actually been pretty cool because I've got to, I'm having to switch up my stuff and find out ways to help with him.
Right.
So anybody come in, I'll adapt in any way I have to. So
You've got young kids. You said that young kids, and I couldn't recommend anybody than I know of better to take care. I would. I don't have any young kids, but if I had any right now, I got a 15-year-old girl. I'd leave her. I'd leave any of them over there because
It's
that's
great.
how much
Yeah.
trust I've got in this guy.
thanks,
Not only
appreciate it.
just for that, but also to make sure that he would teach them
Mhm.
and you teach them what they needed to know. But you've got young kids, you've got older folks, you've got middle-aged folks, you've got male, female, you've got those that are in really good shape, and you've got those that aren't in that good of
Right.
a shape. Correct.
Yep.
So I know that a lot of times, like you said, people go just to get into shape a lot of
They
times.
do.
So if
Yep.
you can get in shape and learn how to defend yourself or assist with that, that's great.
Yes.
But we get back to the other where we say, we've got those people who think. I think we got four types of people in the world. When it comes to this topic, we got those that say, "I got a gun, I don't need to know how to fight."
Yeah.
We got those that say, "I know how to fight, I don't like guns." We got those that say, "I like both," which those are the ones I like to hang out with because if you can fight and you can use deadly force if need be and justified and can understand when you would be justified, then that's obviously good. And then you got those that just say, "I don't want to fight or I don't want to." Have a gun either, and then we run into some problems. But man, I'm just glad you guys are next door.
I appreciate it.
I
I'm
think,
glad to be next door.
and I think a lot of times, especially when you're defending yourself, training to protect yourself, guns are fine. But me, for example, I'm not a fighter. You know, I I can protect myself to a point, but if it got down to it, I probably would end up getting hurt, and that's important, and especially at my age, to be taught how to protect yourself in a certain situation because it's very important, especially the way it is nowadays. It's you
Right.
could walk outside the parking lot here and something happen. So I think it's great that you have this over here, and that's love the fact that you're putting kids in there,
Yeah.
Mhm.
just training them at an early age to protect themselves. And it's not so much, it's more of a, it's, I think it's a lot of a mental aspect as well as
Mhm.
a physical, right?
Yeah, a lot of like I said, a lot of people they like the older group of people. It's always, am I going to get hit?
Yeah.
And of course, that's not always the case.
Right.
We
No.
run through techniques if that's something you want to do, and I do encourage that. Test your stuff out.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
we've had this discussion a lot where, you see, people will go to the ground or people talk about going to the
Mm-hmm.
ground and they freak out and stuff.
Yep.
Well, if you're in there rowing 3 or 4 days a week, you're comfortable there.
Yeah.
So if it happens out there, then you're, you
Sure.
know,
And go back to what you said a while ago, Brett. I think that's the biggest part of this is that when people get overwhelmed, that's whenever they have problems. So if I've never been hit before, and again, if you don't want to be hit, you can still go and get those you can get any class you want. Or I've never been on the ground before. The first time I go to the ground does not need to be out here on the street. The first time I go to the ground needs to be in a sterile
Yep,
environment where I
exactly.
can say,
Mhm.
okay, stop. Let's talk about how did I get there and how do I get out of this.
Yep.
But as Jonathan said, you do this multiple times, and after a while, it's not so much of a overwhelming to you, and you're able to formulate a plan. And we've talked about that multiple times in here, being able to reason
Good deal.
and
Yep.
formulate a
Yeah.
plan in that cortex region of the brain. I really think it's an ego thing for it boosts their self esteem. It boosts their confidence to where they don't feel like they have to bully people, and they don't feel like there's a power associated with knowing you know how to defend
Yeah.
yourself, and just like what, I'm not even going to go there. Now it's not so much I feel like less of a person or less of a man because I know I could have took that. I know I
Yeah,
could
and,
handle that.
and as a parent, you want your child to be protecting himself
Yes.
or herself. My son was bullied through school.
Mhm.
He's going to be 15 here pretty soon. Best hearted kid I've ever known, but I'm not saying that because he's mine, but he truly is. And it's not so much. I feel confident if he was training with you
Mhm.
that he would get so much out of it, and he
Oh,
would
yeah. Yep.
understand what he can do, and he would walk away.
I have a kid that's over there that we kind of dealt with that issues. His parents bring him in, Waylon.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
No
gosh.
self confidence at all.
Yeah.
And would come in, you would speak to him. He wouldn't look you
Yep.
in the eyes when he talked to you. and the kid's a monster now.
Oh, my
He's
gosh.
teaching classes.
Wow.
If you go to their Facebook page, and your Facebook is just London Martial
London
Arts,
Martial
correct?
Arts,
Go to London Martial
Yeah.
Arts, you'll see a picture of Waylon. And I saw the last picture I saw of Waylon, they call him the Quiet Man.
Oh,
That's his nickname.
That's
And,
great.
and you can see nothing but medals. I mean, the
Yeah.
boy, and I've rolled with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's what?
He's
is he
140
145
pounds, 15
pounds?
years old, but
Man,
he's a monster.
he is
Oh,
like
yeah.
a little spider monkey when he gets
was-
a hold of you.
He was ranked second in the state in Fuji, the point systems,
Yep.
two years in a
Oh,
row.
wow.
Yes, he's a monster. Kid's a monster.
That's great.
And he also he does other martial arts classes.
He does. Yeah, he's in there doing striking the other day.
That's great. That's
He's
great.
tough.
And that's great for kids to have because, as we know, there's not a lot for kids to do anymore
Right.
that's safe and give them the discipline and the training they need for anything, really. And this is just a good outlet for kids.
It is.
And that's one of the things, again about this about Jonathan and London Martial Arts is that you want your kid to be safe when he comes to the gym
Sure,
too. You
that's
don't want him to
exactly
come
right.
home, missing 4 or 5 teeth and
Yeah,
and saying but almost to a person. Well, everybody that I've ever heard, they go to the class and they come back and they're like, "Man, I love this. I want more of it." And, even if they did get a little bit of a red mark or whatever, the hair standing up. But Waylon is a perfect. We should get Waylon on here someday.
We should.
I
That'd
don't know if he'll talk, but
He'll just sit here
just
with
get him
pretty
to
grass.
walrus around the floor. or something.
Intimidate me.
He's tough, man. He is a tough. And speaking of that, you got some events coming up here
I do
soon.
have events.
correct?
I have this Saturday. We're going to Tennessee, the Good Fight.
Okay.
He's actually competing down there. I've got 2 other kids. Anthony Dillon's competing.
Yes,
there.
yes.
Then the weekend after that, we're going to Corbin. Or hosting I can't remember the name, but it's a jiu-jitsu tournament down there,
Okay.
and Waylon's going to be competing at it. So we got back events. So
You've heard some
Yes, we
names here: Dylan, Waylon, Anthony.
Anthony,
You go to London Martial Arts Facebook page, like them, and follow some of these guys. You'll see. I know Dylan's dad was a state trooper. He was actually in the class that I was an instructor in, and I know Anthony took some classes. Some
Trial
some
classes
classes
and
that I
that.
taught. Just great guys. But you see these kids, you wouldn't think I don't this kid doesn't have it. These guys are as humble, the humility, the character, the discipline that these guys have got. It's just amazing. I mean, they are true gentlemen, but they're also guys that you push too far. They possess the skill to defend themselves and they'd never abuse it. But I mean, these guys are really
And that's a great tool to have, something that you know you can do, but you don't abuse it.
Yeah.
And I think the discipline comes, from you and the other instructors. But if you're just looking down a Facebook page or anything like that, can they stop by and check out your classes, what you teach?
Oh
and-
yeah, we I offer like first you come in the door, you want to take a class, first class is free. I've got kids classes. I've got a little kids class at 4:30. I call it
Oh,
the Little
yeah.
Dragons class. It's from it's 4 to 6 year olds, and then from the next class after I got level 1 karate class, and then I do kids jiu-jitsu class after that. Then we do kids striking, and then I have adult Brazilian jiu-jitsu program. We've kind of talked about doing a little krav over there too.
Yeah.
We just think ain't got to say
Right. Well, yeah, who knows? We may do some seminars or some stuff over there, but there's nobody I'd rather do it with than you and London Martial Arts, because you guys are the real deal. So yeah, I know first responders. You guys are big on first responders
Oh,
and
yeah.
taking care of your first responders and military. I know your brother's in the military,
Yes.
and
Starts-
you were law enforcement. I mean, that's something we skipped that
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot. Been discussion about it.
So I've heard discussion, I've heard rumors about a PAL program you're working on.
Yeah, I've contacted the local sheriff's department, and I think it's kind of in the works, and it's for children that's that can't afford martial arts and stuff, and that's what we're working on right now. So hopefully we can get that here, and we can get some kids that can't afford martial arts or. So that's
And listen, that's a great thing you're doing. That's a great thing you're starting up, and I really commend you for that. That's super.
Thank
I wish more people in the community would take a lesson from you and do
Yes.
things like that. 'Cause
But,
there's a lot. We live in
Mhm.
an area where there are some kids that want to be involved with things they
Mhm.
can't.
Yep.
Right.
And just, I mean, thank you for that.
Appreciate
That's
it.
that's a great
Appreciate you.
that's a great thing.
Heart of gold, heart of gold. And like I said, tough as nails, but heart
Yeah.
of gold. Man, that's saying something right
Yes.
there. You know, it's easy to have a
Well,
heart of
you
gold
know,
when you're
I
not
always
tough.
I always say the tough guys are the teddy bears.
Tough guys are the teddy
Yeah,
bears
you know,
most of the time. Yeah, yeah. And you know, just like this event he's got coming up with a lot of these kids. You know, he's making sure that those kids and those parents aren't having to that he's all about supporting them and supporting those kids and making sure that they've got any and all assistance and help that they need. But most importantly, prepares them.
Yes.
And they're prepared well and they represent well. And if you see some of those, I guarantee these boys are going to come back with some hardware.
Oh, I'm
These
sure.
boys
That's
are
the
going to come
plan.
back
That's what
with
we've
some
been working
hardware.
for.
So if somebody wants to join up, they can call you
They can
guys.
call me. My number is 606-312-4299. Message us on the Facebook page. Come in 4:30 to 8:30 Monday through Thursday, Saturday from 11 to 1 o'clock.
Okay, and like on Facebook, London Martial Arts. We'll have Kate put at the bottom of the screen here all those contact
Sure.
numbers and contact information. We've got some classes, as I said, that's going to be coming up soon. Women's self-defense classes. My wife will be teaching those. We're going to do those in conjunction with London Martial Arts as well. Kind of get into the transition. You know, we can teach martial arts as you were. We can teach self-defense, but as I tell people in Krav, you know, Krav Maga is kind of just a little. It's more of a concept. Granted, you learn striking, you learn kicking, and all those things. But when you can go to somebody like Jonathan or London Martial Arts and fine tune those skills, man, that makes it really, really tough for somebody to be able to deal with. And then lastly, use of force training. We're going to talk about that. You know, when you're justified in using one versus the other, and all those things, and do that in conjunction with each other, where we're talking physical or deadly.
Yes.
Physical fit defense, deadly fit, because there is a difference between the two and a
Sure, yeah.
justification difference. So, you know, for all the folks that say, well, I've got this and this is all I need, you know, time out. That may cost you a trip to the penitentiary. So you might want to have a good understanding of the difference in the two before you start, you know, just automatically going a place you shouldn't have went,
Yes.
for lack of a
and,
better term.
you know, you have your handgun training.
Yes.
You've got your physical training. You need to combine those and know the difference with deadly force with handguns and physical. So this is a good opportunity for you folks to come on in and check out London Martial Arts.
I'm in there running classes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
just come
great.
in and
That's
talk.
great,
And if you
yeah.
just want to go in
Yeah,
and hang
yeah.
out, watch a class.
Watch
I mean,
a class, take a class for
check-
free.
Yeah, you
you
can
going.
come in and shop at the gun shop. You can go over and eat next door. You got
Shopping's
Love
in-
is Real. There's a place over here now you can get coffee and
See, I heard about that. I watch your videos. And oh, by the way, folks, if you want to know anything that's going on here, check out the Facebook page. Bobby's always doing videos.
Always doing videos.
Talking about new folks coming into the property here, also giveaways or what the weekly specials or so forth. Check out the web page for classes that's going to be running.
Yes.
I know
Yeah, we're getting ready to pick the classes back
yeah,
up. So.
yeah, the classes are building back up.
I say that went next door to Love is Real. They're
Mhm.
opening it, man. They've got probably the best coffee that I've ever
I
had.
have to
It's-
check them out
it's-
now.
it's
Joe,
good, yeah.
old man Joe was the first person to buy. He's like,
I'm
I want to be
sure.
first. I want to be
I'm-
first.
I'm
So.
sure. I'm sure. But Jonathan, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. I just met you just a little while ago, and I'm
Nah,
sure
he's
I'm gonna.
tough. He's a
Listen,
great
I
guy.
love the fact with the PAL program, he's working on that and some other things, and it really involving the kids. So I really do appreciate what you're doing.
Shout out to his people too. He's got some outstanding instructors over there
Yeah,
as
oh,
well.
yeah.
I mean, it's not just Jonathan. You know, he's got you got Kennedy,
You got
you've got
Kennedy,
Waylon, you've
I
got
got
Jake,
Jake.
you've got just a cadre over there with him
Good
that is
They all do a great
ridiculous.
job.
We
You
had to
know,
bring them
good
all
one.
in here one day and just
Good
have a
one.
big.
They're
I want to
good
get
kids.
Waylon in. No, you win if you get Waylon to say something.
Yeah, stand back here and intimidate me. I'm easily intimidated. But guys, thank you so much. Like and subscribe, and we'll have a new video coming out here very shortly. We love doing these. Comment what you want to see and comment on this video. And I'm sure Jonathan, we can get him to answer some
Sure.
questions if you have anything.
Sure.
So, Jonathan, thank you so much, man.
I thank
my
you
friend.
guys for having me on here.
And we'll see you next week.
God bless. See y'all.